you've long opposed this perpetual interventionist policy in the Middle East, long before yours truly kind of woke up and smelled the coffee. But what do you think about John Bolton and this idea that the president has that he's behind these leaks?
Well, it didn't take him too long. He was in New York within days of leaving the White House, or being asked to leave the White House. Within days, he was up there saying how terrible the president was and why we needed to, invade North Korea, and why we needed to be in Syria forever, and why we needed to, fix up Afghanistan after 19 years by staying there another 19 years. So it doesn't surprise me that John Bolton might have his own agenda, and he defines a leak different than you and I do. But no, it wouldn't surprise me that he's part of this.
Today, President Trump seemed to walk back his Syria withdrawal plan ever so slightly, saying, as United States forces have defeated the ISIS physical caliphate, United States troops coming out of Syria will now redeploy and remain in the region to monitor the situation. A small footprint of U.S. forces will remain at the TANF garrison in southern Syria to continue to disrupt remnants of ISIS. What is that? Is this the military-industrial complex saying, no, you won't? Or is this prudent? Does it make sense, given what could be happening, empowering Iran?
I think the president gets the big picture, and he also gets the American people. When you even ask just veterans, U.S. veterans, was the Iraq War a good idea? Over 60% of them now say the Iraq War wasn't a good idea. It destabilized the Middle East, emboldened Iran, made them worse. The president gets it more than any other person I've ever met in elected office, particularly the presidency. He gets it. So I think with Syria, he gets it. He gets that the American people would rather, as somebody told me, would rather be defending the southern border in the United States than defending a border between Syria and Turkey. And I think that's absolutely true.
But he had Lindsey Graham was with him for a few hours, and then after that, everything seemed to change. And Lindsey Graham, speaking of him, must have been, I'm sure he loves your book, but he was attacking you kind of tonight about your position on Syria Watch.
Senator Paul is an avowed libertarian. I respect his point of view, but I think it's dangerous. If we abandon the Kurds, who's going to help us in the future? And the last thing we want is another front against Israel. Israel is worried, as I speak tonight, about Iran coming into Syria and getting the oil fields and being more powerful.
Well, Lindsey's been wrong about every foreign policy decision since he's been up here. So let's say the Iraq War. The Iraq War actually led to less stability, led to a stronger Iran. How about Libya? He wanted to topple Gaddafi in Libya. What did that lead to? Chaos and more terrorism. So really, I think we should discount the neoconservatives, the war caucus like Lindsey Graham, and listen more to the president, who I think has his finger on the pulse of the people. It's a really messy war. If Lindsey wants to go to war in this area, he should come back to Congress and we should have a vote on who. But who would we declare war on? Turkey? I don't know, the Free Syrian Army, which used to be our allies, Assad? And really, is he going to explain to the mothers and fathers of these kids why they had to go to war in Syria, why they were blown up?
I'm telling you, what I saw tonight on that debate, where the Democrats are all now the war party, I've never seen anything like it. They've twisted themselves into pretzels and now completely contradicting themselves on what they've been saying about these wars for a long time. Unbelievable.